Hi guys, welcome back on board to the Crypto Cruise. It's me, Chris, and today we're going to talk about Litecoin, LTC, what Litecoin is all about, what makes it unique. We're going to talk some chart analysis, LTC compared to the dollar, LTC compared to the Bitcoin chart as well. Of course, we're going to talk some traditional markets such as S&P 500, where they're heading in the immediate short term. And before we start talking about Litecoin, let's just start today's video with the Bitcoin chart. So let's get started, guys. Let's just start with the Bitcoin chart. And as I've mentioned in my previous videos, if you've been following my channel, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. We broke above this previous resistance line. If we zoom out, we clearly see that we've tested twice in April of 2021, price of around 64,000. And then we tested it again in November of 2021, price of around 69,000. And we managed to break above it in November of last year, almost 3 months ago. And from that moment on, we've been just consolidating above this resistance line. We're turning it into support for continuation of the trend and start hitting higher prices. We were correcting for quite a long time because from 13th of March, basically till early November of 2024, around 8 months, we've been consolidating between price of around 72,000 to prices even below 50,000 at a certain point. We managed to break above it. We start hitting all-time high prices, and we managed to go above 100,000. And we actually hit the price of around 100,000, of above 100,000 to 109,000 in January of this year. Right now, we're just in a correction, which, in my personal opinion, can last another couple of weeks. But overall, I'm anticipating higher prices for Bitcoin and potentially start hitting price of above 120,000 by early March of this year. By early March or even late March of price of above 120,000. If we talk about S&P 500, I've been nothing but right. Since I launched my channel, I was managed to predict this ABC correction, 10% on the downside, a V-shaped recovery. Swiftly V-shaped recovery. I think my very first video was a V-shaped recovery, and start hitting prices of around 5,650. Then I've told you I'm anticipating a little bit of a pullback to this resistance line. We turned into support, and we had more continuation of the trend. Once we start hitting price of above 6,000 to 6,100, we actually formed a descending triangle pattern. The way I've told you, a little bit of a downside momentum, potentially test this resistance line. We didn't go all the way there, but we broke down. And I've told you, I'm anticipating a swift recovery and start hitting prices of above 6,000 again. Right now, we're forming like a small reverse head and shoulders that we already formed a reverse head and shoulders back from the period of July to September of 2024. And the price target should be above 6,250. But in the daily chart here, we're forming again a reverse head and shoulders. Of course, it's a bullish pattern, and I'm not going to be surprised if we start hitting price of above 6,100 and potentially all-time high prices for S&P 500 next week. I'm not going to be surprised at all if we go and test this resistance line that we've tested multiple times between the period of September of 2024 and December of 2024. And start hitting price of above 6,250 to 6,300. I mean, this is not wishful thinking, guys. This is just in the charts. If we zoom out, we clearly see S&P 500 is in a raging bull market. Of course, along the way, we have corrections, significant corrections, especially if we zoom out to this correction from end of July 2023 till end of October, like 17% on the downside, swift recovery, correction, swift recovery, and I've already mentioned since I launched my channel, I've been nothing but right. And I'm anticipating higher prices for S&P 500 because we're in a raging bull market. Bitcoin, as I've mentioned, looks extremely bullish as well. And some of the altcoins will be able to outperform Bitcoin in the immediate short term, especially this year. And I think potentially Litecoin can be one of those coins. But what Litecoin is all about, what makes it unique? If I have to compare Litecoin to the metal markets, let's just say the Bitcoin is the gold standard. Litecoin is definitely the silver. It's very much undervalued, and I think Litecoin has a lot more potential especially this year. But let's see how this thing is going to play out. Anything I say in this video, it is not a financial advice, it's for pure entertainment purposes. And before you do anything, do the diligence and make your own research, because as I've said, this is not a financial advice. Now, if we just look and concentrate on the market capitalization chart, what do we see? So the all-time high market cap valuation was reached in May of 2021 at price of around around 24 billion. The previous was around 16 billion, and in 2013 bull market we actually reached a billion market cap for Litecoin. So every single bull market we're hitting an all-time high for Litecoin market cap valuation. So I gave earlier in my previous videos that potentially Litecoin can reach $1,000, so potentially 8x from what it is now, and the total supply is around 84 million, and the circulating supply is 75 million. So in order for Litecoin to reach $1,000, that will be a market cap valuation of around 75 billion. Of course, that's a huge market cap valuation, but is that impossible? I don't think that's impossible. I think that's a potentially this can potentially happen. And 75 billion is not that high, especially if we compare it to some of the other chains such as Dogecoin, which of course is just a meme coin, but reached over 100 billion market cap even in 2021, which was 4 years ago. And Litecoin can potentially do something like that. Of course, let's see how this thing is going to play out. It's interesting to see. Now, if you just look and concentrate on the Litecoin chart analysis, Litecoin compared to the dollar to USD, what do we see? So if we measure that move in 2013, one Litecoin was around 25 cents at a certain point in October of 2013, and by November, by end of November, so basically a month and a half, we reached 55. So that's 100x in a matter of a few months. Again, in March of 2017, Litecoin, I mean, at a certain point, even in the bear market of January of 2016, basically we were consolidated for many years between prices of $1 to $2. We actually managed to go absolutely crazy, and we went in December of 2017, Litecoin went at $370 per Litecoin, which of course is around 300x from its low in 2016. And then again, if we look at it at the previous bull cycle from 2020 to 2021, we've bottomed in March of 2020 when the COVID happens, and we've bottomed at price of around $25. We managed to break above its previous all-time high at price of around 370. We went to prices of around 413, and if we measure it from the bottom to the top, from March of 2020 till May of 2021, at around 1 year, from $25 to 413, that's around 15x, 15 to 20x. So if something like that plays out, potentially, we've bottomed here in, I think, actually here in June of 2022 at price of around $40. If we go and have 20x the way we had in the previous bull cycle, that's $800, potentially to even $1,000. If we concentrate into this local top in December of 2017 and then all-time high in May of 2021, potentially we can go and test this previous resistance line that we, as I've said, tested twice, and that will be if we go and tested it by June, July of 2025, that will be price of around $460. $460. If we manage to break above it and start hitting price of above $480, potential comeback to this previous resistance line at 460, we can quickly snap to, as I've said, as I've mentioned earlier, to $1,000 by late 2025. Or by late 2025. This is just something in the chart. This is not just wishful thinking. What else we can clearly see from the get-go, every single bear market we're hitting a high low in 2017, in 2018, 20, and even if we look back in 2013. So basically we're always hitting an higher low and higher high, which of course is a bullish structure, and I remain bullish. Now if we concentrate on the short term, basically to this resistance line that we've tested multiple times in July of 2023, in March of 2024, and we actually managed to break above it in December of 2024. Right now we are consolidating above it. We are forming I would say it looks like a W formation, or some would say this can be a cup and handle formation. Of course they're both bullish signals, and I'm not gonna be surprised once we hit price of around above $150, we quickly go above 200 to $270. Potential comeback to this 180 mark, form a reverse head and shoulders, which we can potentially form this right shoulder here and test this previous resistance line at price of around 460, hit an all-time high, have a full price discovery, and then potentially snap $2,000. And that'll be something in the chart. This is not just wishful thinking, as I've said. Let's see how this thing is going to play out. It's interesting for me as well. But so far, so good. I think Litecoin is in a bullish trajectory, and I'm anticipating higher prices for LTC. Of course, that's not a financial advice. Now, if we look at the LTC compared to the Bitcoin chart, we've been seeing, especially on the monthly basis, quite a few green candles. And I'm not going to be surprised the next few months we start actually going higher in terms of Bitcoin. And potentially we can go and test these prices again, 10x from what it is now, or even 8x, in order for LTC to reach $1,000 is definitely in the picture. And this is something in the charts. $1,000 or 75 billion market cap valuation is not that high, especially if we concentrate and if we look into consideration other chains such as Dogecoin, BNB, Cardano, ADA, to name a few. They all went above 100 billion market cap in 2021, which was 4 years ago. And I mean, potentially Litecoin can do something like that. Well, that's it for now, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube, please do it. It's for absolutely free. And if you really want to support my work, you can subscribe to my Patreon, get my 2 books, the Crypto Guidebook and the Art of Chart Analysis of how to become a sophisticated trader. That'll be absolutely amazing as well. And once again, thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and we'll see each other later on. Goodbye.